If there is one Achilles heel in our Catalina Capri 26, it was the vent hatch. It leaked during heavy rains, so we undertook a series of repairs in 2022 and 2023. At the time, the repairs seemed to have stopped the leaks. Welcome to Season 4 of Sailing Odyssey. We're Lucilla and Paolo, spending our summer sailing our Catalina Capri 26 Odyssey on Lake Ontario. In the 4 years that we've owned Odyssey, we've been very happy with her. For a 30-year-old boat when we first acquired her, there hasn't been any major work that needed to be done. The engine has been running well, and while the sails are old, 30 years old or more, they've been serviceable and functional. At some point we'll replace them, and we have originally started replacing some of the lines as well. And when it comes to the port lights, generally they've been very good in terms of keeping leaks or rain out. There is one issue that has sort of bedeviled us in some ways, and that is the vent hatch.
Well, look at this. There's definitely water coming in through here, something or other. So look. I don't know what this is. This is like a solid fiberglass. It almost feels like solid fiberglass or epoxy. But there's something underneath there that doesn't look too good. I got to pop that thing open. I think I got it. Oh yeah. This is the problem right here. Okay, I gotta act quickly. See, there's a little depression here. So water kind of collects in here and makes its way in. And silicone is not good for this. So this is a plywood core. Okay, but it looks like it's wet all the way around here, right? On this side. So you got a plywood over here. I don't know if this is all plywood right through or if it's just the for the frame support. But the plywood over here is darker than it is on the on the starboard side is darker than it is on the port side. The port side is nice and white. That means that this is a bit waterlogged. So there is some moisture in here for sure. Then you can even go at it, pick at it a little bit. So I don't know what to do for it right now. I'm just going to try and just clean this up a little, clean it up as best as I possibly can, so I don't leave it exposed. And I may have to do something else another time. Obviously, the reason why the water is getting in because there's a slight depression in here. Water hits here, collects in here, then somehow runs in through the screw holes. This all would all have to be nice and scraped off. We got our hatch frame here with the cover attached to it, and we're gonna put this back in again and clean it up. Not too badly. It needs a bit better, but it's not a permanent fix right now. See, it wobbles, and it was all caulked in here, but I don't have the proper material for it. I don't want to get just regular caulking. I want to get something that will be soft and malleable, that will give with the boat. So I'm just going to do a temporary fix. I'm going to use the lacquer rod just to give it the this is much better. Just so it'll give it the support, so that it'll be making better contact. General Electric to the rescue for the time being. I really don't want to use this, but I don't have much of a choice.
What's it called again?
It's just marine usage. It's waterproof. What does it say? Just silicone, clear, transparent silicone.
And why are we using that temporarily?
Because I see a flaw in the design over here. This the frame does not sit flush to the cabin top, to the deck top. There's a big gap over here, and I think this part of the reason the water is getting into here, going through the screw holes, and probably traveling along here somewhere. And it's also dripping down here. It was dripping. So I'm just going to. I don't see any reason why the water would. You can climb up onto the screws over here, actually, right, especially over here. Anyways, I put some silicone around all of these screws. Keep my fingers crossed. Supposed to rain on Monday into Tuesday, and right now I got silicone attached to this lid, which is not good.
With the quick fix, we continued to sail until the end of the season. That's when we noticed that leaks were coming through, and from time to and it really depended on how much volume of rain we were getting, because when it's light, there wasn't any issue at all. So we maintained the status quo during 2022. Later in 2022, after haul out, we unscrewed the mast stab plate to understand how to feed the antenna cable for the VHF radio down through the compression post and into the cabin. We were glad to see that the core in that area was dry. We wanted to know if the leaks in the vent hatch were also coming from other areas, such as the mast stab plate.
Yeah, it's relatively dry in there.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, that's great
that's
news.
Good.
Yeah, the core is real. Yeah, the core is good.
Dry.
Yeah. So that's I'm happy to see that.
Yeah, but I do believe that moisture is getting in through here, though.
Yeah, but at least we can fix that now. Oh, you're gonna place butyl tape all around the border?
Yeah.
After we completed the work on the mast step, that's when we then focused our attention on the vent hatch.
Put this foam in here, and I don't see any water stains along the foam. There's a little bit right about here, which coincides with that over there. That could be part of the problem. So don't really see any. Well, first of all, when the water gets in through here, it'll probably be clear at that stage. But no, there is dust that goes along with the water, so it will definitely stain it.
Prior to spring launch, we unscrewed the vent hatch again, scraped off the old sealant from last year, and applied butyl tape around the border and over the screws.
Later on, when we come back to the boat, I will maybe tighten it up a little bit more.
And so the whole summer of 2023, when we were sailing from late June to early October, there were no issues. It would rain really hard, and we didn't see any signs of leaks coming from the vent hatch. So we thought, hey, great, we fixed the problem. Imagine our surprise when we noticed after we removed the winter cover in April 2024 that the vent hatch was again leaking when it rained. It was time for a more robust fix.
So I oversized the holes for the screws for the hatch attachment, to attach the hatch to the cabin top. And the plan was, and that's what I did, was to fill in those holes with like an epoxy type of product that does not absorb water. So once I put the product in, it was still wet, and I just put the hatch frame in place, and then I just lined up the holes that I drilled, and with the holes on the hatch frame, and I placed the screws into the holes of the hatch through the epoxy that was on the cabin top, while the epoxy was still wet. This basically just secured the hatch, or gave it already the screw shape to the hole, that eliminating the need for me to re-drill, to come back and drill all the holes for the screws. So that's what I did. But because there was no load on it, no pressure on it, even though I hung a heavy bag off the cabin, the hatch lock, there was no means of me to tighten the hatch to the cabin top. So I just left it the way it is. I put some butyl all around the frame, and I noticed there were some gaps between the frame and the cabin top. And right now I'm just, because I didn't have any leaks, I'm just packing in some butyl in these gaps over here, and see what happens. We're going to just monitor. It's 2024, and this frame from this cabin top hatch has been off for 2.5 years. I think it's fixed.
But I think you also did something.
Well, at the same time, I wasn't too sure if I was never sure if the water was actually coming in through these screw holes, because after I put the butyl tape, I thought that would have been fixed. I actually did make a couple of tiny little piter holes on over here. I have one over there, and I might make a couple more over here, just to see if there's any water that might actually get in somewhere between the layers, somewhere I don't know yet, but it doesn't make any sense. And if it does, something does drip out of there, then I know maybe water's coming in someplace else.
Those little pilot holes are dry. They're not.
Yeah, right now they're dry. There's nothing coming through.
Yeah.
We had a fair amount of rain this morning, and there's been some very rainy
Well, in the
days,
past few weeks, we've had torrential downpours.
Yeah.
So.
And there was never any water here, so.
Yes.
Putting the hatch cover, the frame back up.
So the job, we're sort of declaring that the job is done.
Yeah. So it's installed. Took a bit of time. I had to adjust this screen frame a little bit, because my hatch got shifted over a little bit from where it was, so it's not fitting between the frame and the cabin top opening over here very well on one side. I had to cut it back so it would so I would be able to put it, try and bring it flush. Even though right now I got a bit of a gap over here, the frame of the hatch shifted over maybe 2 mils or something like that. It fit into the opening and everything. It shifted over. So my screw holes from my hatch trim on the inside are actually off. They're not aligned properly because everything is shifted over a little bit to fit into to accommodate the frame. And now we have completed the vent hatch leak problem.
Thank you for watching. Come join us again for another sailing video. I put out videos of my sailing, travel, and outdoor adventures. If this interests you, tap on the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of a new video being published. For now, fair winds to all.